Now, I think it's pretty confirmed that the Samsung Galaxy S23 is one of the best phones that you can buy today. But the real question is, where does Samsung take it from here? Now, the reason why I asked this specific question is because I feel like with the Galaxy S23, Samsung has pretty much succeeded, but I would also love for them to keep pushing the bar when it comes to the regular S series of phones. Because in my opinion, they have so much more potential. They have an amazingly clean look, they have a top tier sleek One UI software, they have the perfect size that's very comfortable to hold, and they have a very solid camera system that goes above and beyond. And I'm not gonna lie, I truly do believe that the Galaxy S23 is better than the iPhone 14 when it comes to display, software, build quality, battery, and more. So it only makes sense for me to be invested in the Galaxy S23's progression, since I feel like Samsung and Google are the only companies in the US that take phones in this price range seriously. Like on next year's S24, I would love to see a 1440p display. I would love to see a slightly different look. I would love to see an enhanced camera system, and most importantly, I would love to see Samsung completely dominate the $800 to $1,000 market. But besides my vision and faith that I have in the Galaxy S series of phones, I want to share my experience to help you guys decide whether or not the Galaxy S23 is right for you. Now, in terms of design, there really isn't much that's changed since last year's S22, but one thing that you will notice is that the back camera is more reminiscent of the S23 Ultra since Samsung smoothed out the edges to give it an overall cleaner look. Besides that, you have the aluminum sides that create a glossy look, same hole punch camera in the front, same rounded frame that's easy to hold, and same frosted back that gives the whole S23 lineup a very clean, simple, and good look. Another notable improvement is that the back and front of the Galaxy S23 is Gorilla Glass Victus 2, which Samsung says can survive a few drops on concrete pavement, but I definitely don't think that anyone should test this out. But continuing durability, 5 months in, I have yet to get any notable scratches on the back or front. There are times where I rock my S23 out with no protection, but a majority of the time it is in the case, and I still think that says a lot about its durability since my Pixel 7 Pro gets scratches even with the case on. The S23 is also very comfortable to hold. It felt very comparable to the iPhone 14 since they are the exact same size with a rounded frame, resulting in me not dropping it a lot since it had that very snug fit even for someone like me who has big hands. The S23 is also very comparable to the iPhone 14 in terms of weight. It weighs 168 grams, which is only 4 grams lighter than the 14, and I think that this really added to its comfort. I usually have my phone in my hands when I'm running, in the house, or at work, so it really helps to have a phone that didn't weigh me down. And lastly, the colors on the S23 this year are amazing. I have the matte black one, and I love how it has that clean uniform look. Also, Samsung choosing matte as a material is a W since it's much easier to use without a case. And now when it comes to the screen, the Galaxy S23 comes with a 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display that on paper might not get someone hyped, but it will shock you in person because of how good it looks. I love that Samsung matches the brightness of the S23 Ultra with the regular S23. Both are at 1750 nits peak, and I had no problem seeing anything outside no matter how much the sun came out. And something else that I noticed was that the auto brightness worked very well. I usually adjust my brightness manually, but with the S23, I didn't really have to since it gave me amazing accuracy throughout the day. Now, in terms of resolution and viewing experience, the Galaxy S23 definitely held up very well. The screen was very vibrant and punchy. Gaming really brought out the colors, especially when I was playing something like Smashy Road or Asphalt 9. Watching content and movies on it was great as well. Dolby Atmos really enhanced my experience, but I do really wish that the S23 had better resolution. It only has a 1080p display, which is pretty underwhelming since this phone is over $800. The 120Hz refresh rate was very good. I feel like it felt even smoother since it's well integrated with One UI 5.1, making it flow nice, and it's definitely sharper than my iPhone 14 and my Pixel 7. The Galaxy S23 also has a bunch of screen real estate due to the hole punch camera being so small. I felt every bit of the 6.1-inch display since the bezels are basically non-existent. The display was flat, so there was no shortage, and instead of the back button, I used swipe gestures, which creates even more space. Something else that's unfortunate about the S23's display is that it's not LTPO like the S23 Ultra, so it can only drop down to 48 Hz, and this comes with less power efficiency and can also deteriorate over time. And finally, the fingerprint sensor and facial recognition for the S23 works very well. I mostly used the fingerprint scanner since it was lightning fast, and I didn't have to pick my phone up to unlock it. But if you are someone who likes to use facial recognition, it also works very well and is very comparable to iPhone's Face ID in terms of sharpness and accuracy. Now, moving on to battery, the Galaxy S23 has a 3900 mAh battery that can last you all day, but only under certain situations. Like whenever I would have my days where my eyes are glued to the screen, I mostly ran power heavy apps, and I refused to put my phone on power saving mode, my phone would die before the day is up. But whenever I use my S23 moderately for social media, make a couple of calls, watch some YouTube videos, and get around 3 to 5 hours of screen time a day, this phone will certainly last you all day. And I usually get around 3 to 5 hours of screen time with mine, so I easily end my day with about 35% worth of battery, which is great. I don't do too much, and I use my phone like the average person would. And also, quick disclaimer for anyone who has questions, I have 5G on all the time, my always on display is always on, I use auto brightness, my phone is on light mode during the day, and I use power saving mode so you can get better results if you are a power saver. Now, something that's disappointing for me when it comes to the S23's battery is that it only supports 25 watt quote unquote fast charging, and personally this is pretty bad since the Ultra lineup has had 45 watt for years now, and the regular S series phones have not gotten bumped up once. And going further into battery, my charging patterns are pretty simple. I mostly charge my phone overnight. There are also times where I will forget to charge it at night, charge my S23 while I'm in the shower, and I will usually get around 80% by the time I got done. So if you are someone who wants a compact phone that can last you all day, the Galaxy S23 is perfect for you. And now, just like the S23 Ultra and S23 Plus, the Galaxy S23 will come with the latest and greatest Snapdragon Gen 2 chip that is not only more powerful than last year's Gen 1 chip, but will also be much less power hungry and built for better efficiency. And also, speaking of efficiency, the Gen 2 chip for the Galaxy S23 is custom made, meaning that Snapdragon was well aware of how the Galaxy S22 suffered from overheating, and based on my use over the past couple of months, the Galaxy S23 has yet to overheat. On a day-to-day basis, I'm recording, playing games, scrolling through social media, and many other regular things on my phone, and no matter how long I've tested it, I didn't notice a single slowdown, and I was very impressed. Now, when it comes to camera, the Galaxy S23 has a 50 megapixel main camera, along with a 10 megapixel telephoto and 12 megapixel ultra wide, and based on all of the pictures that I took over the past couple of months, I would say that this is one of the best camera systems. Now, starting with zoom modes, the S23 has a couple of different zoom modes, and of course the quality gets dumbed down a bit once you put it in ultra wide, but I found all of the zoom modes to be really great, especially once I got closer. The shutter speed is still pretty okay. I decided to retest it by shooting a moving car, and as you can see right here, the camera was able to capture most cars, but it still couldn't compare to my iPhone or my Pixel. And now, looking at outside photos, the selfies were good, but couldn't capture my skin tone as well as my Pixel 7 or my Pixel 7 Pro. And the sharpness on my face could be too much sometimes when compared to the Google Pixel or my iPhone. And a lot of times I found myself comparing it to these two because, in my honest opinion, the other options take better selfies. I also took some photos of random street objects, the sky, and different aspects of nature, and I can honestly say that the S23 held up very well in these environments, and I'm really impressed since the sharpness did a lot better with the main camera. Now, taking a look at inside photos, the S23 was able to capture everything very nice, and I found the pictures to be slightly less aggressive, especially when the lighting wasn't as harsh. And now, when it comes to shooting video, the Galaxy S23 is a really good phone that was able to capture many quality shots. You have many different modes and frame rates to choose from, but I prefer to shoot my videos in 4K at 30 frames per second. But I still found it very cool that I was able to shoot 8K with an $800 phone. The video stabilization was really good. For fun, I decided to try out the stabilization to the max. There are better options out there when it comes to max stabilization, but you'll be very satisfied with this phone. So all in all, I would definitely say that the S23 has a really good video camera that will give you some consistently good shots. So if you're someone who wants to shoot content or you just want a solid camera, it's definitely got you covered. And also, here are some extra videos that I was able to get. And alright you guys, that's my review on the Galaxy S23 after 5 months of use. It's a really great compact phone that is arguably my favorite upgrade of the year. And I'm really excited to see where the Galaxy S series takes it from here, because in my opinion, the look is pretty outdated, and I also feel like they should improve the screen since this is considered a flagship phone. But besides that, the Galaxy S23 is amazing. It has a really good display, a good but not great battery life, amazing software, and it's just an overall really good phone that I think many of you guys will like. And let me know down in the comments, do you think that the Galaxy S24 will surpass the S23? Let me know. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I can on the beat.